Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly referee today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Mongoose Publishing's outstanding Traveler 2nd Edition. And we are playing through their module, Reach Adventure 5, the Borderland Run. Now, obviously, we're making, as is often the case on the channel, we're making some fairly substantial modifications to it, but there will be likely spoilers in this session. So if you want to play the Borderland Run yourself, just proceed with caution. You may have some things spoiled for you. If you don't care about that, or if you have run the Borderland Run already, well then let me introduce you to the travelers who we have aboard the Rift Wanderer. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got James.
Right, I'm James, and I'm playing Gani, who's the titular captain of the crew.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I believe that you may be on the intercom as well.
You're getting me. You're getting me twice. What a bargain!
Very nice. Next up is Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham. I am playing Dane Loverick, a former Black Ops sort of Marine commander. Now, well, he's looking for his towel. He's not sure where he is and what he's doing. And so we'll find out.
I think he is the one thing he can add to his resume now is the retriever for when dates go awry. Next up is Carl.
So I guess Graham is our wingman. Or Graham's character Dane is our wingman. Right. So I'm playing Anchor Guvel, who is a Vargur ex-Imperial Navy. He is signed on with this crew because he remembers some of them, like Dane and Gani from his Imperial days. And he knows Alonzo from their love of conspiracy.
Yes.
Mutual love of conspiracy.
Next up is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David, and I'm playing Dr. Ilyas Abdel, a brilliant scientist who is lacking in real-world experience, so he has swapped to the laboratory for space, and all that comes with it.
Very nice. And last, but certainly not least, is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Alonzo Santoro, who is a writer and a journalist and a man about the city.
Yes, he does get around. So, guys, let me see here. What thing can I bring us to for... Oh, I can bring us right on over to talk about last time. Why don't we all saddle up to the bar here? And those who missed last time can find out what eventful couple of hours our heroes spent, or travelers spent, on Argona's, or in Argona's downport. So what happened last time, guys?
Well, Captain Gani and Dane met up with some, like, what were they? The crew of the ship that rescued us out in space.
Yes.
And they had a few drinks with them. Yep. Charlie Banderson was very happy to meet our crew and had a great time. And Alonzo went out and he bought himself some cigars for the ship. And then everyone had a nice night. We went to bed.
Mm-hmm. I seem to remember someone else being involved.
I've never seen that woman before in my life.
Dane, what's your recollection of last time?
Oh, it could have been just a quiet night with a few drinks, but no. Good. I had to go and rescue poor old Alonzo, who I think was... I'm going to say captivated or just a captive. I'm not quite sure which it was. Probably both. Our good friend Whitney here and her associated, muggers. They're a charming bunch. So we had to, I think I had to basically beat them all up and scare them off. In summary. Yep. It didn't appear to be anything too intelligent. It was mostly a good old-fashioned mugging. And Alonso, did you lose anything in the end?
Just a few credits.
A few creds.
Yeah. I did warn them that you were going to come and get them if they dared to go through with their plans, but
yeah, so there we were. It wasn't quite as quiet a night as we'd looked for.
Dane, you also had I think a chat with this fellow as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've now got an offer. So we've got a job. We've got some serious money coming in and a mission to head off into Aslan space, which I hadn't expected. I don't know if you guys had expected, but with that good old classic mystery package gambit, which sadly it's small, but I suspect it's perfectly formed and quite important, enough for our patron to send us in hopefully a circuitous route.
Speaking of the patron,
yeah, he, charming gentleman again, well dressed, slightly worrying, off into a height space, and we've agreed to do it. So that's what I've gone for. Matthew Rhine kindly offered me some alternate employment. And I have to admit, for a moment there, good old Dane was a little bit tempted. Just the unknowns and the uncertainties of going off into Aslan space. But, the money's good, and we're at least afloat. So we're going to go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, taking an unknown package through a circuitous route into foreign territory, that's got to be legit.
Yeah, it's going to be, absolutely, of course. And goodness knows what damage we'll do by doing it. So.
Yeah. So one of the things you may recall as well is you have 4 months in order to get this completed. Strusen encouraged you to pick up cargo as much as you want along the way, and in fact that might pose as a good cover for it. He did suggest that taking on other passengers once you collect your package may not be prudent. There may be some sensitivity to whatever package you're picking up. But other than that, yeah, seems like a pretty straightforward job, guys. I mean, why would they make a module over this? This is just easy money.
We were planning, I think towards the end of last time, we were planning our jump route and thinking about the options that we had. And I think we'd hit upon
Let me move us over to the map once again here. You guys can talk about that. So here we are. And I'll get everybody. There we go. And the eventual destination for this package, move Captain down there, will be, so you're going from Argona right here, and you need to deliver it to Tyok over here. Where you're going to be retrieving it is in the Inuran system. The Inuran system is a trinary system, so you would know there are, I think it's like 21 different planets that are at various places of significance in the Inuran system. But it's a place called Gibraltar Station that you're going to be wanting to travel to pick this up. And then they've suggested a circuitous route to get there. We ran through last time kind of the particulars of the of what's on each of the worlds, and just to spare the viewers, we won't go through that once again. But all of them are listed in the the Trojan Reach book that you guys all have access to. So you can feel free to. This is what your TAS information would have on each of those systems. The yellow border is the border with the Aslan Hyrate. That is where Lion Man space starts, or kind of a space lion man space starts. And I think what you guys had discussed as potential ways of, ignoring the advice and going straight for Tyok, or potentially cutting up around the Dranaxi chain and then coming back the other way from within Aslan space, as opposed to having to, have people have an eye on the border. But we did make a successful roll for mail. So you do have mail that will be delivered at Gibraltar Station. You guys also have picked up a crew. We didn't talk about this last time, but you have a manifest. There are a group of 6 religious travelers bound for Gibraltar Station that you've picked up. They are members of the Kronst sect. That is us. And what you can expect from them is that they will be copying ancient texts for the duration of the voyage. So in contrast to a more diverse and interesting, group of passengers, I think it's Alonzo who is in charge of the booking of passengers. You have elected for something a little less potentially eventful this time, Alonzo.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Until they're ever falling out of a scripture.
Yeah, exactly. A religious war. Let me see. Is that on that list of things? I think so. Yeah. Schism. All right. Who was it who nailed these theses to the wall of the... Anyway. I'll leave it to you guys. What do you guys? What else do you guys need to consider? You do need to... We saved for you, Carl, the piloting check for doing the scoop in the gas giant in here rather than paying for fuel.
Okay.
So you guys
sounds good.
Getting the fuel there. Anything else, you guys?
Did you guys do get stuff to trade, or
they went with mail again this time.
A mail? Okay.
Yeah, another mail run.
We probably got some space for freight as well.
Do you want to look for freight, or
we can only really afford freight?
Yeah, we can't do speculative yet, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave it up to them. I guess Anchor's been working on maintenance tasks while you guys all have fun in the spaceport. He drew the short straw.
And worked on the ship.
Yep.
Yeah, I suggest if it's just bog standard freight, we'll kind of calculate that on arrival.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess supervising the... Didn't we have to
I think doesn't mail pay better
to the hull?
I thought mail pays better than that.
Mail does, but we've got, I think, enough cargo, and unless we've filled our cargo space with mail, which has got a very discrete amount.
Yeah, I thought that's what you guys did last time.
Oh, wow.
Okay, great.
Because, I believe that's what you did the time before as well. It was nothing but mail. Let's see, remember 5 tons of space.
I'll just check the accounts.
Yeah. Each of the containers... Oh, here we go. Yeah, and then you got 1d6 containers available to transport. Why don't you give us a d6 roll there, Dane?
Oh, okay.
You are our quartermaster.
Let's go.
6. 30 tons of cargo. So 30 tons of mail.
Whoa. That's good.
Oh, nice. Wow. And how much room do you guys have? It's like 55 or something?
It's about that.
100,
yeah.
probably.
Well, you got that hover vehicle or the air car.
Oh yeah, that's only 5 or 10 or something.
Okay.
Oh wow, we bought a gleaming alloy air car.
I mustered out with it.
Yeah.
Oh nice.
Okay, 63 tons of cargo. Minus, so I think it's 58, give or take. Say how much an air car. I think we went through this before. Do you guys remember how much the air car weighs?
Let me go find it. You can do that. I'll go find it. But it's
okay. Thank you.
Where am I?
Here you go.
34.
Air car's 4 tons. No, that's shipping. Hold on. Cargo is 1.5. Yeah, it is 4 tons. So that would leave you 59 tons worth of space for cargo.
Okay, 29 after the mail.
Yeah, so 29 you could do in freight. Let's see here, freight traffic. Is freight a flat fee, or are there...
It's fairly flat, I think.
It's a flat fee, okay. So why don't we have, let's see here. Determine the number of cargo lots, roll 2d6 on the freight traffic table 3 times in minor, major. So who wants to give us the broker or streetwise check to figure out what freight you're going to, or what dice modifier you get for your freight check? I can't remember who's our. Is it we're defaulting to Alonzo's?
I think Alonzo or Gani or the.
I thought Captain had broker. I mean, we can go streetwise, but I don't know that.
Also, everyone roll a
got,
d6. Let's figure out how much luck you guys have for the session.
Luck, yeah. 3 from me.
Whoa.
There we go.
Okay.
Bit of
Oh.
6.
Nice.
Okay.
9, 15, 21, 26 luck.
We just need Dane's roll was for cargo, the first one, so we just need to roll.
Oh, that was cargo.
Yeah,
Oh.
we just need to roll for luck from him.
So 20 right now.
Yeah, and I've got broker for him. Yay!
Ah, 26.
6.
Nice. All right.
Wow.
And you have broker, Captain Ganny?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so why don't you give us a broker check, please? It's average, 8. It's already a success. Okay. So here's the thing. With that gives a +1. Rolling for major cargo gives -4. The population at Inurin is either a 7 or a 6. So that'll be a +2. It's -2. Starport is B, I believe. In Inurin. Yeah. So that's another +1. So that's -1 total. Tech level is a 6, it looks like. So it's a -1, -2. There's no other thing. So it's a net -2 for these rolls. So Dane, you're our quartermaster. Would you give us 3 rolls of 2d6 -2, please? And one thing to consider too, if anyone else has anything they wish to pick up while you're at Argona, remember you get a 10% discount right now because of their slashing prices due to costs. Okay, so a 9. Oh, wow. Okay, so your major cargoes, you've got 12 of them available. And each lot 1 ton? Oh, 12 lots, each is 1d6 times 10. So basically there are 120 tons worth of cargo that need to be taken in 10-ton increments.
It's more cargo that we can deal with, basically.
Yeah.
I think which is what happened last time. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are like the space Beverly
a problem.
Hillbillies. You're just going to strap shit to the outside of the ship.
Oh my gosh, can we get an exterior cargo thing to drag along? That'd be awesome.
Wow. This is very.
Okay, so is that enough to fill you up, or do you need to get incidental or minor cargo as well? If you get two 10-ton things, that puts you at 50. Another 10-ton, so 3 10-ton freight would put you at, 60? Oh, you only have 59 available, right?
Yeah.
So
well, we only have 20 available.
2 of them, and then, let's see here.
Full of mail.
I think, let's just say you're going to be able to fill it up with freight. There is sufficient.
Yeah.
With that good of a roll, you guys will be able to fill everything up. Anything else you guys wish to do in Gibraltar now that the clock is running, other than someone recommended a med bay. They may have missed the price of the med bay that we looked up last time.
Yeah.
That is
Have we
not the
decided
Iron
what to
We're
do with
about
our mascot?
Oh, sorry, guys. David, what were you saying?
Yeah. Have we decided what to do with our space critter?
You have not yet, so that's what I'm considering. Carl, what did you say?
Oh, I was gonna. We're about to jump from Argona to Inurin, right? Or we did jump already?
No, you have to. You're gonna have to go and do the scoop. You guys have no. You haven't spent the money for the fuel yet.
Okay, so we got to scoop in Argona system and then jump.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
still in Argona, right?
Yeah, there was a rumor that you guys heard last time too about one of the gas giants in Inurin. Do you guys remember what that was?
Yeah, the locals don't like you using it. They like to run a little racket of making you buy the fuel.
Yeah, and by racket they mean they mine the gas giants.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
A very proactive bit of a racket.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help thinking it will suppress trade. We'll have to discuss that with them.
It tends to blow up trade rather than.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. I'm just checking for.
Cool.
I think the scoop is a pretty easy test, but let's see. Let's see.
I think I put that on the. Okay, so I've got that in the chat. So,
So scoop hydrogen from a gas giant requires a difficult piloting check, 1d6 hours.
Okay.
And then it's unrefined, but the fuel processors can get it. Oh, and actually, hold on. There's more. I think there might be more comprehensive rules in the companion. I gotta say, when I got the companion, I was a little nonplussed by it because I was like, I don't see what the, what all the extra stuff is. But there's tons of stuff that comes up in play that the companion adds a lot to. So
it's page 155, 156.
155. Yes, there we go. So I undervalued that product when it first came out. Okay. Oh yeah, different depths you can go to skim this stuff.
Oh.
Very cool.
Detecting and evading minefields.
Perfect. Okay. So here we go. So fuel, there are 7 layers to gas giants, going from the wisp on the very outer edge of them down into the abyssal depths. In the abyssal depths, the ships will take 4d6 damage per round. Fortunately, that is not where skimming normally takes. Fuel skimming and commercial exploitation, such as petrochemical harvesting, is normally done in the deep zone, which is layer 4. Skimming is the normal rate, and conditions tend to be sufficiently turbulent that piloting checks are made at dice modifier -2, which I think where we get to the difficulty number of 10.
Yep.
A vessel that loses power in the deeps will start to fall immediately, hitting the top of the extreme layer in 2d6 minutes. Always with the dire prospects. Come on, I'm sure things will be fine.
Yeah.
So, fuel skimming takes a number of passes. You can skim fuel equal to 1% of your hull tonnage per pass, with each pass requiring 2d6 minutes. So that's 2 tons, I guess, per pass, right? For you guys, it's 200-ton vessel. Thus, a vehicle wanting to obtain 20% of its hull tonnage and fuel in the deep layer will need 20 passes, about 7 minutes each, for a total of 140 minutes. Skimming would take twice as long in the shallow layer, but would also be safer. Okay. So, I think that's it. There's nothing else of interest in here other than like sensors and combat and crossing the layers. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So anything else you wish to do at the Argona downport?
Ilias would have updated any medical records that are available, like new pathogens or any plague outbreaks or anything that might be of interest.
Yeah. And you'll collect, I'm assuming, the full, what do you call it, the medical details for your passengers as well, too, the church folk. Anything else? Anybody else?
Do we have to buy our pilot a drink for not crashing into the ice on the way in?
That you did already. You definitely have to do that. And then there will be a determination of whether Anchor needs to buy you all a drink on the exit from this.
Or buy us a new ship, whichever.
We'll see how lucky you guys are. All right, so if there is nothing else, and I think you guys can bid farewell to the Argona spaceport. The ship is fully repaired now, so you are good to go.
Yay.
And we go to Argona. So the check for flying out, there, Anchor. This will be easier. This is just an 8.
Okay.
So would you give us a
spacecraft?
Pilot check at 8.
I will spend a luck.
There you go. Okay, 1 luck down.
No, yeah, do it.
All right. So you guys are heading out, and it seems, having gone through the hurricane force winds. Actually, let's head on over to that illustration because it may be the last time we see this for a bit. Oh, and I think, let's see. Map layer. Immersion! So you guys are heading out of the, out of Argona, and you, I think, see Anchor is having gone through the experience of those winds on the surface before. He's bringing the ship closer and closer and closer to the one edge. You may be thinking, the little sirens and whatnot for proximity sensors are going off until you hit the edge of the surface, and then the vehicle is, or the ship is, like thrown back in the other direction by the winds. A perfect exit from here. If not a artful one. That will bring you guys into orbit around the... Do I not have a orbit? What's this one here? I don't have your ship in space screen yet. I'll have to rectify that. Okay, so, but we can bring you guys back to, I guess. Go this sucker right here. So you guys are once again aboard the ship, and it'll take you a little while to get out to the to where you're going to get the scooping done. Anything you guys wish to do before you get to the scooping, or before you guys get to the actual jump itself?
No, I definitely would suggest whoever's on sensors, since I'm piloting, to do a sensor sweep. Make sure you don't run into any Corsair-like friends.
Yep. Who else? I think Dr. Ilias, you were on sensor duty.
Yep.
Just to see what's out there. We don't want any surprises in the gas giant either, right?
Yes. There we
go. He is fairly confident that there is nobody else who's there. There probably are vessels in system that are coming in for trading, but he doesn't have any concern over any piratical activity. So, let's do this so that others are involved. Do you guys have any suggestions for ways you could assist Anchor in navigating down to that layer and to doing the scoop.
Yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed, but I can't remember. Can you do assists with piloting?
It doesn't expressly say it in the game, but I think that there would be ways that I could conceive of ways to try and assist. My non-existent knowledge of astrological bodies notwithstanding, I think that it's not like a homogeneous zone over for what gas giants are. So there would be something akin to climate on there as well.
I
So
could use sense as well. The doctor is looking out for pirates. I can use sensors to scan the gas giants.
yeah, absolutely. I buy that.
Disturbances.
So, yeah, no, and we'll use the skill chain kind of thing for this, I think, to set up so that if you get some good early piloting checks, it'll set you up for easy navigating down.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever you are ready, Captain.
Okay, so let me do my.
Nice.
That's my sensor check.
So that succeeds by 2, which means +2 to your thing. So what do you think it is that you managed to detect to make Anchor's navigating into the Wisp?
I can imagine there are sort of storms around, so I find a calm bit in between some swirling eddies to go in.
Yeah. Okay. So a piloting check there, Anchor, at +2, please.
Okay.
Remember, don't put the plus sign in, or the world
Right.
will implode.
That
Nice.
seems to be
Yep, no problem.
smooth sailing.
That'll give you a +2, so you're heading down now into the extreme shallow. There's a second one at +2.
So I'm going. Okay, so next one at +2 also.
Next one at +2 as well. Outstanding.
Ooh.
That is by 7. That's +3 on your next roll as you're heading down into the shallows.
All right. Where'd it go?
The prompt?
Yeah, I know. No, my pilot. Oh, there. Some reason. Okay, so +3 now. Wow.
Yes, please.
Okay. We found a nice little calm place.
Yeah.
Look at the view. Okay. Oh no!
Ooh, so that's a little. You're gonna need
It's
one
a double
luck.
one. It's a double one, by the way. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh my.
And the ship crashed.
Yeah, I think we haven't talked about that, but I think there's not critical fails in the game because there's no critical successes per se. But I think what this is, that's a good opportunity to talk about what happens when there's a fail. And so I think, and subject to what you guys say, because we're playing with luck, there's always a way to sort of mitigate what's happening. But I think to never get away from the potential, the potential risk of things, I'd like to say that a double one always is a fail, regardless of whatever luck. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm good with that.
It's good playing with all other DMs. Everyone's on board. Like, yeah, that's what. So here's what happens then. We need now a second piloting check from you, Anchor. There's a bit of unanticipated chop that you're hitting as you're trying to get down into the shallows. And I think it's probably going with what you said too. You like look over your shoulder, you're like, guys, this really isn't going to.
Yeah.
So this is to avoid the potential damage to the ship from chop. This is going to be a DC difficulty of 10. And you currently don't have any modifiers to it, but let's see how this goes.
Okay.
Come on.
There we go.
No problem.
Recovers.
All right, so you hit this, but now you've got I think with that 12, you got a sense of the chop that'll give you a +2 on your next roll. And this is the final one you need to cross from shallow down into the deep. You're going to get a -1 because in the shallows, it's a more disruptive area, but it'll grant you, so you're still going to have a net of +1 on this roll.
Okay, so net of 1.
Yep.
All right.
Net of +1 against that 8.
Oh yeah. Now we got the hang of it.
All right, so you are down there. Now, would you give us a 2? Let's see here. It'll be 20 No. Is that right? 40 D6 roll.
Let's see if this breaks. Let's break the. Well, let me do. Yep. See if it breaks. Roll 20. No.
Nice. Okay.
A lot of. Oh, we did pretty well. A lot of ones there.
Yeah. So that's 151. So let's see here. Divide by 60. That's about 2.5 hours that you guys will be down here getting all this, getting the scoop done. All right. And you can imagine there's, you know, the. Let's see here. Who has not been this? Do you think, Alonzo, is this the first time you have been, and Dr. Ilias for that matter, involved in a scoop operation?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, now that you mention Alonzo, probably that's when he shows up with like a tray of all these fancy cocktails that he's been making in the lounge. He's like, you know, these passengers, they won't even touch this stuff. So, you know, I've prepared this for the crew, and it'll be like 6 different fancy cocktails.
Well,
And
I'm
if
not
you
gonna
would
be...
all like to sit down, I'll tell you old stories about us in the Navy and going in doing this.
Yeah, this is this is nothing. I mean, we used to go in there with the, you know, and I described like some massive, you know, 1,000-ton ship, you know,
Yeah.
type of drink.
Yeah, I mean,
Of course, you don't feel
turbulence
turbulence as much in those things, but you know.
What I'm picturing too is that the, you know, like the submarine going too deep sounds you hear in submarine films. That's probably what Dr. Ilias and Alonzo are hearing. They're like, ooh, as stuff is adjusting to the pressure and whatnot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Then, but it's you, if you are concerned whatsoever, they are all for naught, because you have no difficulty getting yourself, or Anchor has no difficulty getting him down there. And let's get yourself out now. You filled up the raw fuel, so you are ready to exit the planet.
Maybe we should do the same thing. Try to find a nice calm path out.
Yeah. So, Dr. Captain Ganny, can you help out here with the sensors? Now, I'm going to give you a modifier. Piloting gets a modifier down here, and I imagine the sensors are a bit messed up too. So it'll be a -2 on your sensor check.
I just typed 2, right, when I put in the mod.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh
not
my.
good.
Yep.
Okay, so that'll need 4 luck in order to make that a success.
Okay.
Okay. So you succeeded with 0 is +1. So this is a little trickier down here, but Anchor, you are ready to go ahead, and this will be a -2 to the a net of -1 to the piloting check.
Okay.
Oof. Will require 1 luck.
Yeah, well, we don't want to damage ship. So,
Okay,
is it like automatic damage, or do you like roll a mishap, or how does it?
So if you bounce off of the layer, a number of damage dice equal to the layer it's currently trying to enter. So if you were trying to enter the deep layer, that's you were like in this case it would be you were trying to enter the shallow layer. It would be 3d6 damage.
Ouch.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we don't want that.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. Okay. Rather not.
So you're up into the shallows, and now that was a 0. You got an 8, so it's a +1, which is canceled out by the -1 in the shallows. Just a flat piloting check then.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Succeed by 3.
Nice.
+2 on your next roll from the shallows into the extreme shallows. You got +2.
Okay. Jeez, we're just burning through that luck.
So
Well,
that
this would be like a 2d6, right? It's still 1. Or no, 1d6, right?
I think so. You were going. That was shallows to the extreme shallows. Extreme shallows is 2. It'd be 2d6.
Yeah, we don't want to take damage.
Okay,
We just fix the ship. We don't even want to scratch the paint right now.
Yeah. So 1 more luck is gone, and then you'll have +1 to go from extreme shallows into the wisp.
Okay. There you go.
Beautiful.
You do like a barrel roll there.
Yeah. There's little bits of like the atmosphere of the gas giant is sort of streaming behind it to make it look especially cool.
Get a picture, everyone. Get a picture.
All right, and with you guys back in, you've got that. How long does it take to process the fuel?
A day.
A day, okay. So it'll be a day of processing. Anything you guys wish to do before you? I mean, you could maneuver continue maneuvering into the location for your jump.
Yeah, we'll try to start heading out system.
Okay.
I'm
And
sure
I'm
there's
assume...
there's designated traffic routes for our size vessel. So
yeah. And I'm assuming for Dr. Ilias that you're continuing to set in the sensors. With that, we'll just maintain. I'll let you know if anything interesting comes up or if I need you to make another roll. Anything you guys wish to do before you reach your jump location? I
don't think so.
No? Let's see here. It'll be... Let me look at this. Here we go. So, to reach transit distance, let's see here. Your thrusters, are they 1G or 2G?
We are 1G.
1G, okay.
1G.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then, I guess it'll take you a little more than a day to reach the location. So it's great. So you should have your fuel processed by the time you reach there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Anything you guys wish to get done on that in that time?
Now we definitely, maybe as we go closer to, I wonder if it's going to be cheaper or more expensive to upgrade. Well, we got to save money for that, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Upgrade maneuver and guns eventually.
One day.
All right. Then I can tell you nothing else of interest. One of the things that is fortunate about your current passengers, they are coming out to collect food, but it is one of them that is going to collect food and bring it all back to their cabins. They are spending the entire time transcribing ancient tomes from one thing to another.
Alonzo thought this was a good idea at the beginning, but now he is just annoyed with these boring people.
But it's great to have no one messing around the ship for a change.
Oh, and to David's point, what did you guys do with your mascot?
Oh, yeah.
Argona is not a place where that thing would survive whatsoever. But are you guys concerned?
I don't know.
About
maybe
that?
I say we hold on to it until someone, maybe gives it a good. We'll give it a good home. I don't know. It seems like could be a fun pet for some hunter. I wouldn't want to just sell it over for exotic dish. As tempting as that might be for a bar.
It might come in useful at some point.
You never know. Has anyone ever worked for a zoo? The anchor would ask, or a circus?
No.
I know, animal training. He's going to start maybe reading some stuff on animal training.
Where are we keeping this thing, and what name do you wish to give it?
Where do we find this thing?
It was in the cargo hold. It was
I know it, but what system?
It seemed to come on Spurl. The ocean world.
Oh, right. Oh, what's a fun Argona meme, or that company? What's that company?
The biggest company in the Reach is Judico.
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 Oh, yeah.
Glad you're thinking of us. The other
Glad
one
you named
was
your pet after us.
it was PRQ was the local corporation on Argona.
I mean, chat is telling us that it is fresh meat and it probably tastes of chicken.
That's just yeah. We could name it Jude. Hey Jude.
Alonso is a old Earth aficionado.
True.
And then we know the inside joke that we named it after Judico, like the company's world we founded on. So.
Judico, we have a sense of humor. Truly.
That's my suggestion.
Okay.
I
guess we have it in a cage right now, right?
Yeah. What do we even feed this thing?
It seems to eat.
Dr. Ilias sorted that out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, maybe we could
Very
even
diet.
have some of these scholars to come by and look at it. Maybe since they've perused ancient tomes, they might know about this creature and all this kind of stuff. Maybe it's who knows? You never know.
A chosen
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, oh, okay, you guys can buy it.
This is how the Holy War is kicked off in the Reach. Our savior, Space Chicken. So where are you keeping Jude then?
Oh gosh.
I mean, two obvious sort of common areas would be the passenger lounge or the crew lounge, but I imagine Jude smells somewhat like a fishy iguana cage, so bear that in mind wherever you're placing.
The crew lounge is probably okay. We just gotta clean it. Yeah. Does he free? I guess we gotta figure out a way to clean the cage without upsetting the creature too much.
You know what? Not to pick on Alonso, but with your jack of all trades, honestly, that is your best bet for using animal handling.
True.
For now.
Until
Anchor's at the cage, look at this thing that's hissing at him like, we're gonna be best friends.
That's right.
All right. So Jude, the space gecko, is now our most recent addition to the crew.
Nice.
And Alonso, Dr. Ilias will be able to advise what to feed this thing. So we'll see how well you improve this thing's disposition over the course of the trips.
And to make him even more palatable to the captain, maybe we can charge for people to come in and view it. When we are
like a therapy pet situation. Yes, this has proven very effective back on the Thora for helping people.
Yep. There's nothing like a screeching lizard to make someone feel comfortable when their PTSD is flaring up. All right. Then, is there anything else we need to deal with before you guys reach the jump point? There's no role for processing fuel, right? I don't think so.
No, the system just does it for us.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Then, unless there is anything else we need to do here, we can figure out what your astrogation roll is here. Not astrogation, but whatever it is for this. I've been reading Star Wars again recently, so...
To calculate the jump to...
Let's see here. Oh, it is astrogation. Look at that. Never mind.
It is yeah.
This is an easy astrogation check. So, who has astrogation?
Dr. Ilias does.
Okay. Doctor, if you would kindly... So this is a 4+. So you're modified by the jump distance. So it'll be -2 for this. So it'll be a -2 the astrogation check. And it can be done in advance.
Nice. Oh. Ooh.
That will actually require 1 luck unless that's a double 1.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
And another luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, you have a -2 why did you have a -2 modifier again?
Because it's 2 parsecs.
The distance.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got it done, and I think perhaps you had things together, and then later in the day you were just something was nagging at you, and you went back and you realized there was like a tube that you forgot to carry or something like that, and
of course.
Okay, all right. Then the next thing to do, guys, is the firing the jump engine itself.
That's engineering, right?
That is an engineering check, a J drive check at easy, modified by the task chain of the original astrogation check, which will give you a +1. And You got refined fuel. Beautiful. Captain Ganny. All right. So with that, you guys managed to get yourself off. Now, during the trip, I rolled for random events as well. Alonzo, would you kindly give us your... I'm assuming you do not have animal handling.
No, I don't think I do.
Okay, let me double check. That's an
Any
actual...
training in animal handling, but I do have my jack of all trades.
All right, for animals, it's called. Would you give us a jack of all trades roll, please?
Here we go.
Yay!
There you go. No problem.
Hey.
All right.
Hey.
So what you find is what I was getting you to roll for. There is an accident that occurs over the course of this trip, and the most obvious thing would be a bite injury. That does not happen. So then, would everyone give us a 2d6 roll? Low is the unlucky.
Why you tell me that?
Go. Okay. Ooh, doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. 3 nights.
So then, let's say, tell us a little bit, Dr. Aurelius, about what you'd be doing during this trip. The travelers or the passengers you have on board. Oh, and you guys have, and you fill the low berths as well. So you can get the whatever money you make from that as well. You have more than enough people to fill up that. And the high berth is, you actually have 6. It's 6 travelers. So someone's going to have to, this was a group of 6, so someone's doubling up with someone else for the trip from the crew.
I can sleep in the lounge and the crew lounge. You know, just put up a bedroll and just trying to bond with Jude.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. That's great. He's a rescue lizard. We're celebrating belated rescue lizard day. So, So Dane, you can calculate it'll be 6 middle passage passengers as well as 6 low berth passengers for this trip.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. And Alonzo, I can imagine that going on as you were like, all right, here we go. 6 people, full house. And you might as well have nobody else on board because they barely come out of their bunks.
Exactly.
So
Boring.
Dr. Ilias, with that in mind, what do you think, what would you be spending your week doing, just so I get a sense of where this accident may have happened?
I think it'll be a mix of just keeping the, not med bay, but the supplies in order, running through eventualities, trying to come up with what vaccinations Jude might need or should have, depending on where we go and if there's any sort of pathogens he might carry. Everything last time I checked, he seemed okay. And then I think because he's used to the hustle and bustle of a very busy lab and sort of having daily lots to do, sometimes like these days were just very quiet, he will sort of maybe a bit dwelling on the past, go over the notes again for like the big genetics project that was gonna save the dynasty, and then obviously at the last moment going over it, and then maybe with an element of how could they possibly be so stupid as to not accept this? It's clearly the better solution, and
Yeah.
then sort of has to sort of get himself out of that fang and play some whatever advanced keyboard pianos they have, where that can be sort of just played via the keyboard on the computer.
So I think it's maybe during a moment of that frustration that you're kind of moving things around in the lab and perhaps opening containers. Maybe something got jostled during the skimming operation and you just had not caught it yet. So why don't you give us a dexterity check, please? Or test. Test this game? Check? Test? Roll? I don't know. Check. There we go.
Dexterity.
So that's going to be... You could give us 4 luck to... Unless that's a double 1. It is not.
Yeah, I'm happy to let it ride and see what happens.
Okay. So then, let's see here. I get to use a traveling companion. Has all sorts of horrible shit for
maybe I want to
falling and
spend
starving and. Let's see here. I think the falling rules are probably
shit supplement.
that's in the hazards section, I think. Yeah, I will say the both like first printing of the second edition rules and this newest, the 2022 update for it, just great books to flip through. Very easy to find shit, and very easy on the eyes. Here we go. I think it's only going to be 1d6. Give us a 1d6 roll, please. Ooh. Okay. 4 points of damage to your endurance.
Yeah, it's endurance first. Definitely.
Endurance first. That doesn't put you below 0, right?
No.
Okay.
No, not far off, but
yeah. So something. So this is a really like nothing's broken or whatnot, but it's a bad. Perhaps something wasn't stored properly and a drawer fell out and you were trying to catch it and it all fell down largely onto your leg. Oof. Fortunately, I think you guys have a doctor on board.
Hope so. Yeah, there'll probably some sort of cursing and as things clatter to the ground, and then he'll take a very deep breath and reach for the nearest of medical supplies and then have a look at how bad the damage is.
Now you have don't you have an advanced med kit that gives you a bonus?
Yes.
Yeah.
So plus
is it
2
TL12?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So plus 2. So that'll be first aid check or medic check. Sorry, at medic education at plus 2. Nice. So that'll heal. Did that include the plus 2?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then 3 are healed right away. So it's like I imagine it's like a bad contusion and maybe some scrapes that you're able to address, just leaving 1 point, and you recover 1d6 plus your endurance dice modifier per day of full rest. Nice. And let's see when this happened. This happened 2 days in, so you'll be right as rain afterwards.
Okay.
I think later that day, Captain Gani will receive a sort of like accident or injury report. Clearly something wasn't stored right, and in the lab these things are very important. So Dr. Ilias will have gone through the checklist and gone like, and then will have handed it to Captain Gani.
Was the ship damaged?
Well, no, the drawer is fine. It fits back in.
Okay, then, fine. No worries then. Good.
Okay. So if you get the filing, once you guys drop in system, you'll have the filing off to the Judico Insurance Company. And Judico, we appreciate proper paperwork. So apart from that, there's unless you guys have anything of interest that you want to happen during. Yep, go ahead, Dane.
Doc.
Yes.
Do you have anything to help with sleeping?
That's a good question. I don't think so, unless the medkit comes with. Like I didn't out of character. I didn't specifically buy anything for insomnia, so unless the medkit comes with something that I could.
Yeah, I think the advanced. Let's see here. Do you have science in like biology or biochemistry or anything like that?
A chemist. I
actually don't know if there's a specialty for that. Just
chemistry and genetics.
Oh yeah. So I think chemistry would be sufficient. Why don't you give us a chemistry check, science chemistry with the plus 2 from the med kit. And I'm wondering if you can just bodge something together. Easily. And that's going to be something with like no negative side effects with it as well.
Yeah, just a little help. Just don't know, the incident on Agona. It was a simple thing, really, but strange how these things just trigger. They just trigger old memories.
Would you give us, Dr. Ilias, a medic check at, I think, a plus 2 because of your familiarity with Dane and your access, you would have probably taken some kind of scans to get him going. Yeah. So I think, and tell me if I got this wrong, Graham, but I imagine that given what we've learned about his backstory, there is going to be a sci-fi equivalent of like treatment for post-traumatic stress, but I imagine he's going to be carrying some of that with him anyway, because
the trauma is quite deep.
Yeah. So that's a stuff that you can, I think you can see that if Dane was forthcoming about his psychological history, or if he shared what wasn't redacted for, being secret, black ops stuff, whatever the electronic equivalent of big black, blacking out would be, that's the records you received, because a lot of his missions would have been classified still. You probably, what do you think, Graham? Would Dane have, would he have shared what his, post-service struggles would have been, or no?
No, he'd have tried to have shouldered it, and the service wouldn't have helped. The service sometimes doesn't help because they don't want to. They perhaps will do a little because they don't want to jettison people that are then going to cause problems that might reflect back on the service that they had. So I think he's had something, but I think the depth of it, given his history, is quite deep.
Do you think it's also like the type of treatment he would have received at the time was the type that would have got him to do his job, as opposed to what's kind of best for him?
Yeah, mostly. They may have done it. I'd have had a medical probably on discharge, just to make sure I don't do anything immediately really bad.
Yeah.
But
I think Dane got what you call the NFL quality of care, which is to say it's the best that money can buy, but it's really not to make you better, just to make you do your job.
Correct. So the protocols were probably adhered to, but the protocols are not there to really help me, as it were. So he still suffers. So he's generally okay, and he's basically training on endurance. So what he's doing, he's working in the gym and he's trying to work it out, but it comes on him, and he's not sleeping particularly well.
David, what suspicions do you think Dr. Ilias has had with respect to what Dane might be dealing with in a non-physical capacity?
I think given some of the research he was involved in, having seen the after effect of some of the missions, he probably tries not to think too much about what exactly went down, and understands that it's probably quite traumatic. So as he hands over the concoction, he'll have sort of his doctorly, no more than 2 per night, and then we'll soften side and say that, I also hear talking can help. So if you ever just need to sit down
and I imagine there's
my
also,
office is always open.
There probably are like AI programs or other kind of like virtual reality programs or things like that might assist with managing, if not just the symptoms, then the actual condition itself. That might be something you could suggest. Whether Dane would accept that or not, I have no idea.
Yeah, because I think Dr. Ilias would suggest, I guess, the equivalent of like a mindfulness app or something like that to help with fully realizing that maybe it's not the right approach for Dane, but it might be a starting point.
He's trying to keep off the drink and just get some sleep.
Yeah, because mixing sedatives and booze, when does that ever go wrong?
Yeah.
All right. So, so that is something to... And would Dr. Ilias advise the captain of his suspicions?
No, this is strict patient-doctor confidentiality unless Dane gives me express permission to discuss his or any immediate harm to himself or any else of the crew. I think Dr. Ilias will stick to that.
Okay. Anyone else have anything that they wish to have or to deal with or address on this leg of the trip? It'll be a week in transit.
Yeah, I think just Anchor is going to try to make sure he's either with Alonso when he takes care of feeds a pet or try to do it himself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Is there a discount for or extra benefit for when you're learning with someone? I can't remember. You're learning from a teacher.
I don't.
Alonso is happy to teach you.
We'll take a look at it afterwards because there might be something in the companion. If there is, I want to give you the benefit of like, time and a half or double time for whatever you count towards because we're using both the XP rules and we're also using the training rules. So you could count one way or the other whether it's going to reduce the cost of that initial level in it, or whether it's going to reduce you'll count extra time that you spent training towards it. Whichever way you choose, Carl, I'll let you just treat it as like, let's say double. So it'll be half price for XP for the first level in animal with a specialty in handling, or you can count the time you spend as 2 weeks instead of 1 week.
Yeah, I'll probably. I mean, because I have XP that I haven't used yet, so I don't need I don't really need the discount because it's 0. I mean, it costs 1 to get to 0, and then 1 more to get to 1, right? No, it's 2 to get to 1.
2 to get to 1. That. So if you want to spend let's say 2, it would be 2 to get to 1, right? Because it'd be 3 normally.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So you're. I can't imagine that animal handling is going to come up all that much as at least not a critical skill roll. So if you're willing to invest in that, the discount is worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Captain or Alonso? I mean, I know you've got very little to do.
I'll be back at the University of Space Phoenix trying to follow up on their recon courses. Their engineering ones are very good, so I'm hoping their recon ones are good too.
Okay. And Alonso?
I wonder, Alonso's probably starting work on his new book while we're flying. Since these guys are copying so much, it's kind of motivated him to get started. And probably at this point, it's just like character bios of the crew and stuff, because it's not like we have much. Maybe he's got the like pirate adventure a little bit in there as a chapter, but that didn't take him too long. So
yeah. So well, especially if he's using dictation software of any kind. I picture you sitting down at the console, like, all right, everyone else is being responsible. Time to get work on my novel. And then we cut to you walking up and down the corridor where the passengers are, hoping you're going to make enough noise to have them poke their head out.
Yeah.
All right.
Bored.
So the trip, the jump trip is otherwise uneventful, and you guys there's no roll that's necessary, I believe, for you entering the system. So let's do this. We have not urban encounters. Where is it here? We're going to check and see if there's anything interesting while you jump into system. Where was it here? And then targets.
I mean, interesting could include good, right? It could include
interesting. 100% can ensure good. Most definitely. Yeah. Does not always mean pirates. No, it's here we go. So would you let's see here, Captain, would you give us a D6 roll, please? Let me see what modifiers we get here. Okay. Ooh. Now, would you give us a 2d6 roll, please? Okay. Fucking pirate.
Fuck.
Oh, that's genius. All right. So with this thing, with you dropping out, we actually have, I'm going to ignore that for now, because there is something else that is going to be happening when you drop in. And you just had this happen in the other system. So, well, hold on. Let me take a look. See how much.
Well, you know,
roll another one.
Flies around us.
Okay. Never mind. I can take advantage of that and have it still, be not ignore the results of it. So you guys drop out into the trinary system, and The sensors, if you're monitoring them still, Dr. Elias, they're going to be. This is going to be a very unusual challenge to be navigating here, only because of the very unusual gravitic setup or dynamics of this particular type of system. Like I said, 21 different planets in this system, each orbiting one of the three stellar objects that make up the system, and then there is Gibraltar Station. So, as you can imagine, with 3 stars moving around and a bunch of planets moving around, predicting where the ships are going to be able to come out safely is going to be a bit of a moving target, to say the least. With you out, it will take you. I think we're going to. With that result, you know that there isn't really one, dominant force that's exerting control over here. There are a number of smaller corporations, including a place called Saxon Corporation that has set up a colony here on one of the 21 planets. You may remember that the system that lends, or the planet that lends its name to the system, is a very low-tech system that sort of fell to fighting, and there were multiple different factions that are on the planet, but at very low tech. Gibraltar Station is really the only significant large place, and it really is more thought of as a city-state in orbit than just a simple space station. So it'll take you. I'm going to go on the outside of this. There are 2 bookmarks on this. I should probably put one of the bookmarks on this page rather than flipping through it all the time. There we go. That's weird. Why did I bookmark boarding actions? Can't imagine why. All right. So from here, it's going to take you guys at 1G. We're talking about 4 days to get to Gibraltar.
Would it be right, Kev, to say that we are, having arrived at our original destination?
Yep.
At Argona from Spurl around about week 14. I would suggest we're probably around about week 17 now. Would that be about right?
You guys only spent about at most like a week on the. Oh wait, there was the travel. You're right, because there was travel back and forth. It's probably a week of commuting back and forth to the to Argona and then back to the jump point. It wasn't longer than like less than a day to get to do the scooping. I think maybe, what did you say, week 17?
Yes, about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Okay.
So it's just maintenance I'm worried about.
No, absolutely. No, that's great. That gives you, if you're willing to keep track of that, that's one less thing I need to worry about. So thank you. Yeah. Let's see here, and I will mention it just for anyone who is isn't running with running travel or whatnot. This is something that's recommended in the core rulebook, is offload some of these tasks to players. So like that, Graham's given a great example of how helpful that can be. Then I just have to worry about blowing you guys up, So
Yeah.
That's a good delegation of duties. So, with you back in real space once again, and traveling towards Gibraltar Station, are there any concerns or any kind of procedures you guys are going to take, or anything you want to do with your time?
I think Dr. Elias would ask, seeing as he was sort of busy last time. Do we need to be aware of anything on picking up the cargo? Is there contact? Is there any special procedures we need to follow to get the cargo? Are there any dangers in receiving this unknown package?
Well, the instructions you got, Captain Gani, from Joaquim were to enter like a code of data into the system's computers at Gibraltar, and you'll be contacted with information for where to pick up the package. nothing but clandestine nonsense on this job. So does that answer your question, Dr. Elias?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anything else you guys wish to do with your time as you're going along? And what we can do with this stuff, if you want to set SOPs as, you know, like Dr. Elias is going to always be monitoring the sensors, I can just ask for a sensor check from him immediately. I can assume that if there's any piloting checks, that Anchor is going to be doing that. I'm going to assume if there's any engineering things, I think it's Captain Ganny who's going to be doing that. Dane and Alonso, do you have any sort of areas you think would be automatically within your purview?
I mean, I have excellent computer skills, comms, computers, and sensors. So if any of those need to be done,
Comms,
and there's not passenger
Monitoring.
stuff going on, yeah.
Monitoring
Absolutely.
comms would be good. Monitoring comms, I think, is a good idea.
Yeah.
okay. So Alonso's always going to be on comms, and Dane?
Just try not to frighten the passengers, really. I think mostly. I don't have a lot to contribute without blowing things up or boarding other vessels, but I can make canopies now and again and to just generally help mop things up. I'm happy to mop, you know.
Okay.
Never mind the passengers, just tried not to make us too uneasy.
He's constantly got that glassy-eyed stare.
Yeah, I try and keep talking to people. I'm told it helps.
Good.
But again, Dane, real ones.
Oh, okay, yeah. How many people have you spoken to today? What, 16? Yeah, but how many real? No, they're all simulated.
Did Dane take advantage of any of the programs, the things that were suggested for treating his trauma?
No, I didn't, because it's good for me, but it'll drag things up. I don't want to drag things up, so I'll just take the sleep and try and keep it down.
Okay. All right. Then it is about, let's see here. Why don't, while I'm thinking of it, Dr. Elias, would you give us a sensors check? And Alonso, would you give us a comms check, please?
All right, there we go. Comms.
Okay. Anna wishes you luck.
Yes. Thank you, Anna.
Okay. All right. So it's about 2 days in when you, Dr. Elias, for the last 2 days, or for the last day, for like the last 24 hours, it seems as if there has been a ship that seems to be sort of at the edge of your sensors, or let me just remind myself of how much detail you get from the different sensors. Now, I know that this game is built on the bones of a bunch of older versions of it, but that is, for a sci-fi game, that's a super fucking cool thing to have, where it expressly tells you, this is what you can, here's how the tech works for you, because not every game does that, and it's sometimes a matter of guesswork of like, I don't know. Starfinder, I'm kind of looking at you here. Okay. Sensor, here we go. Okay, so yeah, minimal information. Yeah, there's all right. I think my food delivery may be here. Okay, so it's minimal on visual, thermal, EM, and active radar, LiDAR. So you've got a basic outline. There is a roughly wedge-shaped ship that seems to be boondogging you at the edge, at the very, very edge of distance for an entire day and a half, Dr. Elias. They don't seem to be getting any closer, but they seem to be lurking on that very at the edge, where likely their sensors would just be picking you up as well.
I will alert the crew to this.
Okay.
And
Wedge.
obviously,
Wedge configuration.
yeah,
will
I'll
indicate.
if I can show them like a graph of its flight path, how it's following us, I'll make especially Dane and Anchor aware of. This seems to be its flight path. It's, to my eyes, clearly trying to stay close, but far enough away not to give away too much.
Mm-hmm.
Anything on displacement, or we don't get that?
Anything? No. What you're at that range, what you're able to pick up is the presence or absence of something on the. Let's see here. Here we go. EM sensors are picking up the presence of a starship. Active radar and LiDAR and the visual scans are picking up the very basic outline. And I'm picturing it's that kind of, that ubiquitous rat cam kind of shot that we see in anything post Firefly, where it like has difficulty kind of focusing in on it. That would be the visual that you have.
Okay.
And it's hot, meaning that it's burning. Now, what you guys would be able to extrapolate from that, at thrust 1, you guys are as slow as any other ship in the sky, which means that this thing is either intentional, like either it has the same capacity and is barely able to keep up with you, and just happen to meet up with you on the path of an oblique, passage. It could be heading towards Gibraltar Station as well. Or it's something that can move faster that is intentionally keeping at that very distant range where you wouldn't be able to pick up anything from it, and you wouldn't, but it could keep track of where you're traveling.
Call me suspicious, but I reckon it's the latter. It's a wedge-based configuration. Now, wedge-based configuration would tell me that it's typically a ship that's capable of considerably more than that, and probably either naval or paranaval.
Mm-hmm.
Scout ship, right? Wedge-shaped scout ship.
Yeah,
Possibly.
It could be. Hence the displacement question. It could be something small.
Yeah. The
scale.
basic. You're only getting at that range basic outline from the. Oh, the densitometer though would give you the external structure. So you're thinking it might actually be something comparable to to a trader vessel.
Okay.
I mean, those can certainly be turned over for nefarious activities once armaments are put on them.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, though, is that your comms are still fully functioning. So, Alonso, you may remember when you dropped into the Argona system, immediately they tried to hit you with jamming.
Right. So we're not suffering any comms problems.
So it's about. Is there anything you guys wish to do in response to that, or is it going to be to carry on for now?
I would suggest maybe.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dane.
I was going to, just depending on its range from us, so just the propagation of light signals from it to us, is there anything that's coming through that they are transmitting in terms of a transponder? So are they switched on? And if they're switched on, are they a legit ship?
Alonso, why don't you give us a comms check and see if you can pick up anything if they are communicating with anyone else? It's a good question. Unless you want to, so this is a contested thing, so the more points you put into it, the better your result would be if they're trying to hide stuff from you. So you kind of have to blind bid luck if you want to go higher than that.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
How much luck do we have?
That's not a great roll. You have 7 wiggle room with that particular roll.
We have quite a bit. We have like 18 left, I think, is the last entry.
I mean,
yeah, we have 18 left. Yeah. Put 4 in?
4, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay.
So
Boost
that,
12.
yeah.
Okay. As far as you can tell, there isn't any chatter from back there, or at least none you can detect. So they're not transmitting with anybody else. They're not doing like a tight beam communication kind of thing with anybody else. As far as you can tell, it's a ship that is seemingly keeping pace with you and has been doing for the last 30 hours, I guess.
But its transponder is therefore off.
Oh, the transponder. I'm sorry. The transponder would be running dark, yes.
Okay. So that tells us something.
Yeah, I would suggest if we're maybe we look for a convoy of people going in system of various maybe even looking for like a big freighter type led by a big freighter.
Yep.
And kind of move in with them. So if something happens, then we got people other ships around us.
Okay. So unless you guys tell me otherwise, there's going to be another 18 hours that pass. Would anything change?
Right?
Keep monitoring. Okay, and that is when Alonso, you do have a emergency or a message come in. And this is a bit of an unusual one. Normally, when there are emergency calls, they come on the emergency transponder system, and everything is sort of out. What you hear coming across is it is a call for help, but it's perhaps the most unusual one you've heard. And it's not coming from behind, it's coming from, it'll be further up, it'll be about 6 hours out from where you guys are right now. And it sounds, in place of the panicked call, that you would expect from a bona fide emergency, or at least what you would expect from it, perhaps, or a fake emergency, it sounds like someone bored or exasperated. And the voice comes through saying, emergency, emergency. We're in some sort of emergency here. If you're not too busy, this is Sam of Sam's Leaky Bucket. I could use some emergency help. Emergency, emergency. And one of the other curious things about this is because of the way it sounds like this person is just live on the comm and partially talking to themselves.
Yeah, and because it is so strange, I will actually play it out over the speakers or whatever for everyone to hear, rather than just transcribing it, because the tone of voice is such a part of the message. Yeah, and so Dr. Ilias, if you hear that, can you give us a sensors check? I imagine your first step would likely be to see if there's anything in that direction. Okay, success. Let me show you what you see here. So allow me to... So do I have your tokens already? I do. Look at that. Okay. Guys. This one you're quite clearly able to make out because it is a courier. There is a transponder on this, and this one, it is Sam's Leaky Bucket. That is what the name of the ship is in the official registry. And you can all hear Sam calling out for assistance. 6 hours out is probably within long.
Certainly, if I'm right, with 1G, 6 hours out is about 1.2 million kilometer, 1,280, 1.2 million kilometers.
Okay.
Which, from a light point of view, means that light would take 4 seconds to get from them to us. So the signals are not quite immediate. There's a 4-second lag.
Yeah.
As the information comes to us, and we may go back. We could certainly hail them, and we get that 4-second lag in our comms, but it'd be almost real time.
I would say we contact them, see what's going on, what help they need. I mean, we're kind of technically a courier because we're hauling mail, so I don't know. I feel like there might be an obligation.
Yeah.
If they're indeed a courier. I mean, it does kind of leave us a little open, but if we let other ships know what we're going to go do.
I wonder if the relaxed tone is cultural. Maybe it's sort of like, I don't know.
Or it happens all the time, or...
This is an unusual... It's definitely an unusual call Normally, and like for one, it's also not automated. It's not a recording that's being played over and over again. Like you can hear the guy talk about, you can hear like the shifting of his seat as he's adjusting it and continue talking. There's digressions in the emergency call. He takes a sip, a break to have a drink of water or something like that, and then goes back to it.
What I don't like is that we need to get to this high station ASAP. And I assume we're being diverted here effectively to get out to this ship, and we're being shadowed by something that's running dark and doesn't want us to know what they are. That doesn't feel comfortable to me. Just saying. I think we are obligated to do it, but I don't like it.
But it's not safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can probably begin communicating with him before we get to him to at least maybe learn what his trouble is and make our assistance as short as possible.
I mean, chat's telling us it's a trap, and who am I to disagree?
So what do you guys wish to do? Sam is still on the line.
Definitely hail him, see what's going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what's the name of our ship again, guys?
Rift Wanderer.
The Rift Wanderer.
Yeah, this is the Rift Wanderer. What seems to be the nature of your problem, Sam?
So there's a brief pause. Oh, hell, are you close enough to lend assistance? I didn't think anyone else was out here. Oh, this is Sam, Captain Sam Keji. And Ganny, would you give us a flat 2d6 roll, please?
Snake eyes. No, 5.
So, Sam Keji, how long ago was it, Captain, that you were part of the Scout Service?
Yeah, let me say I think it's 4 sorry, bear with me. Bio and info, no. Come on. Apologies, the sheet doesn't like me. It was about 5 years.
About 5 years ago. The name rings a bell. I have had a hell of a bunch of trouble with... I'm alone currently on my ship on account of everyone on my crew being arrested. I have a partially disassembled M drive that I have no earthly idea how to get back together. Do you happen to have anyone? I do not need any supplies. I do not need any assistance with crew. But if you have anybody on board who knows how to put this thing back together, it would... Then I can get myself back moving again and get back to civilization.
Oh. Yep. For ex-scout service. So, sure can help on the M drive.
Are you saying that to him?
Yep.
Okay, so Captain steps forward and hits the thing. Oh, yeah. That is so good to hear, Rift Wanderer. We will tell me what your docking protocol will be, and I'll get myself in. Oh, damn, M drive's broken. I can't get myself in position. You're going to have to figure out how to get yourself on board, because I can't move this thing. I'm drifting in space like an asteroid.
Which is, and I'll turn off this mic, but for a man drifting in space, he tracked precisely to us for the last several days.
No, that's not him.
I had
This is a different ship, yeah.
Different
Oh,
ship.
sorry, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep track of that other ship. See if it truly is shattering us. And it diverges, then.
Okay.
But hey, maybe this courier has some guns on it, so it won't be that.
So we would see you guys dock aboard. You're able to get more precise scans on here, and Leaky Bucket is most definitely not an exaggeration whatsoever. the engineer Ganny, like, you are shocked that this thing is able to still be space worthy. Never mind that it's able to go. There is, for those among you who may be more inclined to, like, you know, tighten a loose bolt here or tighten a loose bolt there kind of stuff, this thing just screams you know, like, it needs to either be decommissioned or completely overhauled because there's so much shit that's old or ready to malfunction on this thing. You are able to easily maneuver yourself. Actually, Anchor, why don't you give us we'll set it at easy, so it'll be a 4 or higher piloting check, just to get yourself in docking position with this.
No problem. Close my eyes. Yeah. Okay. No problem. Indeed, no problem.
All right. Get yourself in, and then I will quickly, before we take our mid-session break here, I'll introduce you to Captain Sam. So this...
We have to be good. We have to be good citizens, you know.
This is Captain Sam. And let me put him to the back. And I'll put a name tag on him so you guys don't have to each time. Now he doesn't you would have time, Captain Ganny, if you want to try and search like old registries or anything like that. The name rings a bell, but you don't remember having met Captain Sam at all?
Indeed, I must have something of I mean, I've got my own computer, which I have with me.
Yeah.
I've got some old.
And you get who's who of the Scout Service
stuff on it.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to need
who's
to
who
make...
Trojan Reach Scout Service edition.
Yeah, it's someone who in this. That's how I'm thinking that there may be a chance that you've come across this fella before. You haven't recognized him, but this is someone. It probably makes sense because you've seen his name on things, but he retired about 3 years before you got in. But his name is on a whole bunch of things. So this is someone who's been retired from the Scout Service for between like 6 and 7 years. And he seems to have gone into business on his own. In this case, literally on his own. Because it doesn't appear that there's anybody else on board his vessel. So as you guys are coming on board, and I did not think to load... I got this awesome picture done by Mark Graham, but I did not think to load the actual what do you call it, deck plans for this. But if you guys turn to,
is it roughly a 100-ton courier?
Page 190. Yeah, it's basically the Scout Courier, the Type S. Is basically what you can use as a model for this.
Okay.
So it's really not a very big vessel, but he is, as you're answering, he's dressed in, you know, like dirty overalls. It looks like he may have been trying to work on this thing because he's got some grease and stuff on him. But the docking there is right near, I'm on page 191 of the book. It's got the layout for the S-type. So the docking ring, it looks like it's about near the front of the ship there. He is pretty grateful to see you guys. Who is going on board? Who would be going on board to meet with him, and what sort of precautions would you take? I'm just assuming that Dane is insisting on precautions at this point.
Maybe Dane...
I'm actually going to go into full armor and
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dane and whoever's going to fix the M drive. I don't think I'm...
Well, I'll go fix. I've got my...
Yeah.
Your University of Space Phoenix course. Okay, so we can picture, I guess, Anchor and Ganny and Dane in the front are.
Anchor's probably going to stay on board.
Oh, you're still on board. Okay, so just the two of you.
Yeah, because to make sure that there's the docking stays together.
Yeah.
Dr. Ilias will keep an eye on the sensors in case that other ship makes a move.
You got it. So you are. You picture that the docking, the two docking couplings open up, and as soon as he sees Dane there in his full armor, and what weapon do you have in your hand? Or just the armor?
Gauss rifle.
Okay.
Gauss rifle.
Is the Gauss rifle at a...
Yeah.
Is it at like a ready-to-fire position when it opens, or is it at a, like a more casual?
It's slightly casual.
Okay. So he opens the. As soon as that opens up, he's standing there and immediately is like, "Oh Lord, what?" And
just taking precautions. You're quite safe. I'll start to sort of edge across
through the digitized voice that comes out from your bowel.
By my command.
Good Lord, are you ready to invade here, or are you going to come help with the M drive?
Yeah, we'll help with the M drive. We just need to, we're out in deep space. We've met plenty of dodgy situations, so we just need to make sure everything's clean.
He steps back and like lets you get through. He's like, "Go ahead and search. I ain't got nothing on me, and there's nobody else on board no more."
That's fine, sir.
So as he steps past, you're looking at him, Captain Ganny, and he looks very much like he does in the illustration. Massive, beard, wild hair. If this is what retirement from the Scout Service entails, you may be looking at a possible future for yourself here.
So how's being out of the Scout Service doing you?
He looks over. How do you know I was in the? I was in the Scout Service. How do you know I was out? Did you serve yourself?
In service as well.
Well, that is a pleasure. Good to meet another Scout, Sam Kedgy. He extends his hand to shake yours.
Captain Ganny, lovely to meet you.
Ganny, you must be. Do you serve in the Reach as well, or did you come from elsewhere?
No, I was in the Reaches. Before that was in the Navy.
The Navy. So you're one of them fancy boys who decided to slum with us Pathfinders, hey?
No, I was a good period in the Scout Service. It was a good time.
Good enough to leave it, hey? It kind of hits you.
You know how it is. It's can be a tricky life. I was ran into a little diplomatic troubles on that. That's the trouble, right? Being on the borders, especially with those sword worlders.
I know how things go with that. Sword worlders ain't got no time for any kind of miscommunication or any kind of misunderstandings. Well, once your boys finished up his searching, I can assure you, Captain, we even got anyone else on board. I had a bunch of mercenaries doing some kind of, they were saying, interdiction service. They all came on board, and I had taken on some passengers. One of them was part of their passage was for work, and they were to be working on the M drive for me, get that up and running, fully serviced. Sure enough, this crew comes on claiming they need to do a search of the crew, come on board, look at all my guys, and it seems that everyone I was transporting, including my would-be engineer, they all got prices on their heads. So every single one of them got trundled off, but the damnedest thing was I'm certain that they were looking for someone in particular, and they just took the rest of my crew and my passengers, trying to make the best of an otherwise uneventful boarding. Thank God they got nothing on me, or otherwise this ship would have been floating out here on their own.
So where were they from? They were from this sector?
No, they had. I don't think they presented themselves as part of GDCO, but I think they were just local hires put on for a bit. GDCO.
Well, that's
sometimes
GDCO.
we hire sketchy people. Yeah, they
had problems with my last passengers as well. I tried to blow us up, so I'm all sympathy there.
I guess I got
sketchy types in high berth.
Well, it is a high berth. Well, your vessel is fancier than it appeared to be on sensors. I'll tell you that. After this, Dane, you're able to come back. There is absolutely nobody else on board, and you're able to confirm the M drive is in a. You don't know anything about it, but you know it shouldn't be in as many pieces as it appears to be on the deck.
Okay, I'll just duck down over the sort of loose sort of cables that are sort of
You make your way in.
Everything's clear here.
Exactly. Yep. Never mind that thing. I've been meaning to have that fixed for the last little while.
I have to say, Sam, got to think the Scout Service Quartermaster's going to be pissed when you bring this one back in.
But who lacks a quartermaster apart from payday anyway? Come on, it ain't gonna break apart on you. I just need the M drive. I can get the rest of it fixed up in time.
Let's go have a look at that M drive then.
All right. So go ahead.
We'll let a bootneck try and fix it. We'll be here till Christmas. So let's go fix it.
Okay. So he leads you along. Dane, are you intending on kind of chaperoning Captain during his time here?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This ship is not being maintained. I'm going to get off it.
All right. So Alonso, you're perhaps you can see Dane making his way back to his quarters. In his full Imperial Space Marine regalia. He's back pretty soon from his expedition.
It's all clear. It's just some old scout on a ship that's older than him that needs proper maintenance that he's not bothered with because it costs him extra money, which he doesn't want to spend.
Yeah. So
I'll go tinker then.
All right. So with Dane getting himself back to normal, Anchor keeping the ships, or keeping at least his seat warm in the piloting chair, Dr. Abdel with his eyes trained on that blip on the edge of the sensors, and Alonzo still trying to put a single word on the page. I think we'll take our mid-session break now. And I know Jeff's has to bail early, so this will be an opportunity for you to leave.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, Jeff.
Thanks, guys. Great to see you.
And then we'll be back.
Alonzo locks the door to his room. Puts like a do not disturb handwritten page on the outside.
So we'll be back momentarily to see how Captain Ganny's work goes. So we'll be back momentarily.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we're all back. And let's get a quick sip here. And then we'll see about fixing this M drive. All right, let's see here. Engineering. I wonder if we'll say under the skill or under the starship section. Oh, this is actually a mechanic check, it looks like. No, it's engineer. This is operating and maintaining it. For repairs, simple... Yeah. So I think, get the time increments. This is likely a D6 hours task. So, excuse me. Captain, you can choose to do this faster, which would be a -2 on your DM to get it done in 1d6 times 10 minutes. Or you can take your sweet time and do it, get a +2 on the check, and do it in 1d6 times 4 hours.
Are we in a huge rush?
What's happening on our scopes?
It is lurking on there, and let's take a look and see how long it would take. I mean, it depends on the thrust of the.
Well, it'd be interesting if we've diverted. Is it still following us? Because then that's answered the question if it's following.
At this point, like, it's tough. It's still on the sensors for sure. I'm just thinking, like, even like a millimeter of, a variance in how it's following would end up with a massive change in the direct line to it. Distance 50,000 kilometers. So figure if it's as slow as you, for it to get into even long range would be 30 combat rounds, each of which are 6 minutes. That's 180 minutes for it to close into combat range.
3 hours.
So you're looking over this task, and Captain Sam is there as well. And so what do you think, Captain? Is this something you can slap together?
In the meta, how difficult do I think it's going to be?
Average task.
Average task.
Yeah, this will be an average. This is just a matter of.
Let's just take 1 day 6 hours then. Take the regular.
Okay. So give us a 1d6 roll. Let's see how. Look at that! Beautiful. Then why don't you give us you roll up your sleeves, take your jacket off or whatever, and hang it on the hook and get right to work. Captain Sam is happy to help you during this time as well, for whatever, for his non-skilled labor. Why don't you give us a engineering M drive check, please?
He can bring me a tea.
That's...
Oh, I'm gonna need to use a bit of luck.
Okay, and I think Jeff posted the last status of luck. 14 luck left right now. Okay. Oh, there we go. Dr. Abdel's taking over. Great. So you, you're able to get the thing together. It's not gonna be pretty or anything like that, but the maintenance that was needed to get done is done. During that time, Dr. Ilias, while you're monitoring your shadow, they get no appreciably closer to you. Neither do they redirect to some other place.
Maybe they're minders for us.
Oh, you're muted, Graham.
From what we know about travel, like last time with the pirates, it's unlikely that they knew we were the specific vessel they were necessarily waiting for. So maybe it's just a system-specific precaution they have of.
It could be system defense, as you say, Gunny, and they're just.
Yeah, if somebody knows
just
you're traveling, they can
they're
just
just
come through at
monitoring
the
the
same
system.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he did, as you're talking to Captain Sam, he lets you know that there are apparently like mercenary patrol boats that Judico's paid for to try and keep patrol this system in specific, and like you said, the strange, they ended up taking the folks into custody who had bounties, but the way he describes it to you is like they'd searched everyone, they did their whatever they were looking for on their end to get information about the people, and that there was a bit of a back and forth as to what to do with these people. It wasn't like they were looking only for wanted criminals or people with bounties on them when they arrived. They seemed to show up to try and track down a specific person, and then as a resolution, or not resolution, what do you call it, consolation prize, they just took everyone else into custody. That's
By the
unusual.
prisoner, I guess.
What was that, Captain Gunny?
Paid by the prisoner, I guess.
Oh, definitely. Well, each of these bounties are by the individual, and it turned out that his entire crew had bounties on them, or entire passenger and the engineer he was working with.
As someone who hasn't traveled much, Dr. Elias would probably ask someone, what are the chances of someone taking on passengers and every single one of them has a bounty? Like, is that usual, unusual? Is that just part of this part of space?
It's pretty unlucky. I mean, we
These
only
have
had
been
one
trummed up
psychotic.
warrants. Like the mercs just saying, oh, you're on the list, you're on the list, you're on the list.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think Sam's going to be doing a lot of background checks.
No, and like you guys are in a position where people are paying to be on board your ship. In this case, it's sort of like you take what you can get. Dane's not, his reaction to get away from the ship is not unreasonable. And in particular, if you're short of credits or you're looking just to save some money, hiring on for work to work the crew is not an uncommon thing either. So he very well could have taken on, and like your current crew, he could have just hired on. It's not like he hired into a bunch of random individuals who don't know one another, and then it turned out that they were all trouble. It could very well be that he'd hired a group of 5 people, one of which was someone who was skilled enough to, to do the repairs on the engine, and it turns out like they're all criminals, or at least someone holds them as criminals. Mm-hmm.
Sam, what's your plan now that your M drive is running?
Yeah, so he's quite happy with that. He's going to be heading directly to Gibraltar Station. He knows. Oh, incidentally, the if you happen to ask, the mercenaries were operating out of Falcon Station, and Falcon Station is. Let's see here. I mean, for one, it was the name of my Starship cover band in high school, but also. It is. Let's see here. Oh, not station. Falcon Starport. And actually, I'll have to check. I don't know offhand where Falcon is. I don't see it as one of the worlds in Inurin.
Even more suspicious.
Oh, there's a in the Borderland subsector. There's a Falcon planet.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's where they're operating out of.
Okay.
Okay, so that's not unusual. And
I
otherwise,
just
like,
happened to look in.
okay, Gibraltar Station is a like I said, is effectively like a what do you call it, a city state. So they aren't, there isn't anyone who's really trying to keep. I'm telling him. I'm telling him. Yeah. Which reminds you of 21 different planets in here. None of them seem to be in direct control of the system. They sort of rely on, the number of different inhabited places that have value to try and keep peace. But otherwise, Judico has a vested interest in keeping piracy down in general because commerce is good. Judico, commerce is good.
And I'm right in saying that Inurin itself is a low-tech, balkanized garden world.
Yes.
Yeah. The system's very balkanized, so
100%. Yeah. There's like 3 contesting major parties on Inurin itself, but then there is, like 20 other different inhabited or either systems or stations or planets. And at least 3 in total corporations involved in the system.
I mean, it could be like for these guys arrested, it could be like one polity arresting him for doing something on another polity within the system.
Yeah.
I mean, if this goes really well, and we get back, which I'm sure we will, I'm going to lodge some inquiries about real estate here because it looks really nice.
If I recall, the inhabitants of Inurin, they were trying to build a high port and then got themselves into such a fight, and by fight I mean nuclear conflict, that they managed to destroy the high port and destroy the most of the infrastructure for the low port. So definitely a growth opportunities here.
Yeah, maybe somewhere else.
All right. So Sam, we'll ask you a little bit, Captain Yanni. He bullshits a little bit about your time in the service, and he'll ask about a couple of people that you actually served with and you knew. Is that so and so? Still there? Is that whatever the dispatch person?
Well, I'm happy enough to do things. It was a good time too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was still Imperial service.
And where is it you're headed? That you've got
Gibraltar Station as well. Just dropping off the mail, dropping off some cargo.
Look at you. You're living large. That's a highlight. I suppose you could put a good word in for old Sam, could you?
You'll have to spruce up your ship a bit.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah. I figured I was hoping to ride this thing through till just finally putting into port permanently, as it were. But think she's running a little ragged on these last few million miles.
I need to pick up somebody a bit more regular than your last dodgy crew.
Yeah, I did not draw a lucky draw with them, no. But, he gestures at the drive. With this thing operating once again, we're good to go. We could take on people paying. And you can kind of hear like a cable fall out yet again.
Oh, no.
I don't think that's important, so you don't need to worry about that. Well, Captain, if you got business on Gibraltar, I won't be holding you up any longer.
We'll see you there.
We'll see you there, and I'm just double checking to see what his thrust is on it. I wonder if he's faster than you.
Well, I could fix that for him. We'll make him 0.95.
It is a thrust too.
He can trail us.
He's gonna get you. He's gonna beat you there. It's a faster ship.
He is.
So, with his thanks, anything you need me to give word to for reaching there?
Hey, you could just tell them that, we've been trailed by someone. So if they've got anyone, maybe they could send out something to meet us.
You tell me that you...
I don't think you're in any shape to help us, but...
So he, this is, I'm assuming after the task is done, then he's talking. He's like, wait, you stopped off even knowing that you were being tracked by somebody?
Well, couldn't leave a fellow Scout Service veteran in the lurch. He might have come after you.
Well, I have 2 ways that I am indebted to you then, son, and I know that it looks like this thing will fall apart as soon as I hit Atmo. But if there is anything you need that I can offer, Ganny, you don't hesitate to ask old Sam.
Well, you head on to the station and just let them know that there's some suspicious folks out there.
I will do that, and I won't forget this. Thank you,
No
Ganny.
worries.
You are a credit to the service.
Anything for a fellow serviceman.
Indeed. He lets you go. There's a little bit of trouble getting his door to properly seal, but after 1 or 2 tries, you finally get it to properly seal. And then Sam's leaky bucket is ready to... You see the engines pulse, and while you guys get going as well, Anchor, the ship...
Fixed his door.
Yeah, very quickly. Oh, nice. You see through the little porthole, the thanks once again. Sam's leaky bucket begins or starts to outpace you very, very quickly, and then I'm going to put Captain Sam in your handouts too before I forget, because you may run across him again. You never know.
Yeah,
Billions of miles of open space or a small neighborhood. So,
I don't know.
Samuel. And what I should do is actually let you guys, I don't know if I do this each time, but I should let you edit them. So if you want to add any notes to any of these things, you guys are free to do so. I haven't done that, but maybe what I'll do today is go in and just quickly update the ones that we've got thus far. If you don't have to put anything in, but just in the event you do want to keep notes in the actual game, we can do it that way.
Yeah,
all right.
Helpful.
So with that, with Captain Sam and Sam's leaky bucket taken care of, you guys are ready to carry on to Gibraltar Station. Anything else you guys wish to do in the last day and a half until you reach the station?
A day and a half, wow. Not really. Just basic piloting duties, monitor that ship.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, eventually it'll land where we are. We can see what they're about.
Yeah.
Are they? Did they join us to Gibraltar?
They drop off after about 6 hours from leaving Captain Ganny. So it's a good maybe 36 hours before. 36, is that right? No, that math's 34 hours? 32 hours, I guess. 32 hours off from there is where they just break off from you. And the way and how fast they disappear as well, Dr. Alias, you can guess they are much faster than you. Notwithstanding, you'll be traveling in an opposite direction, but even if they were spin, reverse burn, how fast they suddenly are, you're able to see just a little mark and then they're gone is pretty impressive. Dane or Captain Ganny, anything you guys wish to do before you make port in Gibraltar Station?
I'll go into our engine room and comfort myself in a properly maintained engine room.
Yes. There's also no cables coming down. There's a full cargo bay, and at least from what Alonso tells you, there's a full complement of passengers as well. So, unless there's
good. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, then, guys, you approach Gibraltar Station. So you get the usual, the greeting or whatnot from approaching. Gibraltar is much busier than the Argona High Port. It is Class B, so it's not the very best that you could dock at as far as starports are concerned. But it's It's big. It is well maintained. Let me check the population as well. I think it's quite big. Let's see here. It's around Pamsk 5. That Gibraltar Station is... Yeah, it's big enough to host a university. It has factories, hospitals, shops, and one of the better universities in the region. But its inhabitants are distinctly isolationist. One of the warnings that you receive as you're approaching is to avoid, do not attempt to refuel using Pamsk 5, the massive gas giant that this thing is orbiting around. That seems a standardized warning. And what else does it tell you?
Is
population of 40 million. No, that's not right. Sorry, Graham, what'd you say?
No, just a question. This overall, the planetary system is rated as an E-class starport. Is this particular facility better than that?
This is... Let's see here. Yeah, it should be. I think Gibraltar Station is better from what I recall. Let me double check.
Yeah, sure. Because if it's an E-class, it's basically a lump of ground.
Landing.
Well, that is definitely what's on Inurin. That's a landing strip, not...
Sure.
Yeah, but Gibraltar Station itself is B, I believe.
Wow. Okay. If it's B, may I just we just sort of intercommunicate with them and pick up any berthing costs that we're going to have?
Yes. It'll be standard the cost for at a B, but what you do find, so they advise not to approach the gas giant or attempt to refuel. There are fighters on patrol here as well, so they have a way of backing that up. And when you get the information about refueling fees from them will be 20% higher than normal. So they charge a surcharge on top of their whatever fees your whatever the regular cost is.
Jeez.
Yeah. They are crew CAD. Was that your...
That is our berthing costs.
3,000. Yikes.
They've really hogged it up.
Yep. That one is not increased. Here we go. Okay. Oh, we'll get rid of the PRQ. There we go.
Are they selling both refined and unrefined fuel?
They are selling both. Yes. Yes. You would be able to sell both, but the unrefined will be marked up 20% too.
Sure.
So, what do you guys wish to do? There's no piloting check that's necessary to dock here. Anchor. I imagine it's an element of what do you call it? Autopilot for this size of place in orbit. What you also know is that the law level here on Gibraltar Station is a 4, which means you can carry handguns and you can carry. Let's see here. Here we go. Handguns and hand weapons in public, no problem. Anything bigger than that, you're going to run into trouble. And there are going to be areas where there are weapons prohibited, which is like most entertainment establishments or business premises, but you're able to walk around They also have an unusual, because of the number of different locations in the system, they have an unusual way of dealing with those who break local crime or local laws. Deportation. What they do is they hold you in a docking area until either your ship or some other ship, by which I mean any other ship is leaving, and they just toss you with them and they'll drop you off wherever their first protocol is, which could be elsewhere in the system. They do not care where the deportee goes, so long as they're gone. Re-entry is normally not permitted for several months, unless someone is permanently denied permission to return. So, once you guys arrive, what do you plan on doing? There is a TAS facility here, I believe. Yeah, there's a TAS hostel here, so you could stay with that as well. It's busy too. Like this, the Argona starport was nowhere near as busy as what this was. Neither was the Swirl one. This one is a much more active. What do you guys think?
I'll stay in the TAS.
Yeah.
We need to
I think we can find
look to pick up our package.
Okay.
Do they allow non-members?
Say again?
Do they allow non-members?
Yes, the non-members can pay. It's just like a surcharge. Where is it here? It's in the core rulebook. No, that's weird. In the core rulebook, it says that you get a free room and board, and then they, at another point, they say what the cost is. So I do not know.
It's quite small, right? It's 25 credits or something.
Minimal, yeah. Like, TAS hostels are available for members and their guests at 20 credits per night. So that is a very reasonable cost.
Yep.
I'm picturing that you're sort of in the like commercial visitor kind of area, as opposed to like what would be the habitats and what would be the university area and the factory area and whatnot. You have any tasks you wish to do? Prices are what's in the core rulebook for everything that's in the book. You make your profits, Dane, and you disembark your religious passengers.
Yeah. Yeah, we've, just to sort of note, we've had an operating profit. Well, not profit. Our income is 264,000. Our costs for berthing and the fuel costs are about 18,000. So we've made quite a reasonable amount, maybe about 220,000 on this particular run. That doesn't count the 400,000 that Joachim has added. It means that our current operating balance is 976,000 credits.
Nice.
That's with startup capital of 220,000. We do have maintenance costs to go on top of that, but that's basically where we're at. So we're at just shy of 1 mega credit in terms of our total available liquid.
Well, a few more mail runs and we can get a gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to pick up our package, right?
Yeah. So once you get yourself settled into your hostel room, you can use the terminal in there to, or perhaps your computer linked up to the Wi-Fi or space Wi-Fi to send the data packet, and you're just waiting to hear now. What would you guys like to do with your first day on here? There's no damage to the ship to repair.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is Alonso is confined to quarters, and
he's writing.
just
We're doing safety.
just for safety. I mean, just need to get out, don't we? Just stretch the legs,
Yeah.
see some entertainment, have a few drinks. just enjoy ourselves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This place has, because of the law level, and because of sort of the area. Oh, one actually distinctive thing about this anchor, there is a very large Vargur population amongst the staff and the inhabitants of Gibraltar Station.
Well, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. It has a pretty fair selection of restaurants and entertainment facilities as well. And those of you who are perhaps a little, I'm trying to find a gentle way of saying racist, because of the amount of Vargur that are on here, you may think that Gibraltar Station might be a hive for pirate or corsair activity.
Oh, no, really.
That is
I mean, just dealing in crude stereotypes.
That's profiling.
It's extremely profiling, yes. I think it's a very unfair assessment to make.
Are there any bars where the Imperial Navy types go? Or X?
Let's see here.
An expat bar.
Probably, yeah. I think that I think
Anchor's curious. He does want to check out the Vargur places.
Sure. So you're definitely going to find more like properly, culturally Vargur, shops of any variety, as well as restaurants. Ships from other systems usually come and go at a rate of about 1 or 2 a day. Mostly free traders, far traders, and subsidized merchants plying the Void's Edge cluster or the Borderland Run from Fist to Tyok. So there are lots of opportunities to pick up cargo in here, and tons of probably familiar faces, Captain Ganny, for people that you've been meeting over the course of this stuff. So for those of you who have been on this, I mean, you guys, we said have only been doing it for about 4 months now, but even now you're starting to see probably 1 or 2 familiar faces at those hangouts.
Good. So I'll do some socializing and keep my ear open for any cargoes that may be going to Tech World.
Tech World is where you're thinking of going next?
I think that's where we were reckoning was the best bet, because the other choice is interdicted.
Yeah. So why don't we do this then? We'll make we're going to Tech World. We're going to make our mail roll, because you'll have an evening at least to kill here. Dane or Anchor or Dr. Ilias, anything else you guys wish to do while you're in Gibraltar Station?
I think Dr. Ilias will look for either some interesting talks at the university, those evening lectures or guest speakers or whatever they have going on.
Yeah.
Or failing that, he'll see if there's any concerts or other sort of performance art.
Definitely.
Things going on.
Yeah. So Dr. Abdel is indulging his inner culture vulture for the evening. I love the idea of you just disembarking the ship, or like leaving the TAS dressed like, the either Villani or the space equivalent of a tuxedo and whatnot, heading out for a night of culture. Well, Dane and Anchor, you just spending time around some Vargur?
Oh no, Anchor is gonna go look for see if it's just kind of hang out, spend some time, right? I mean, I'm sure there's like Vargur groups in the Navy, but he's not like a Vargur from the extent. He's a Navy born Vargur, so it for him it's kind of like almost maybe a cultural experience.
Yeah, so
it might be different, right? These are non-imperial Vargur, right? So
yeah. So why don't you give us a diplomacy check? I think.
Oh, I might actually have that.
Nice.
Maybe not. Probably not. I don't. Yeah, I don't.
What kind of social skills do you have, if any?
I have deception, investigate, and persuade.
Ooh, investigate. Why don't you give us an investigate check?
Okay, intellect based, or do you want me to change it to social
intellect based sounds right.
Okay. Oh, I have fun. Maybe.
So that's incredibly good. So you're going around asking, and I think maybe you're approaching it from that perspective of, I'm really going to get a sense of this. And what you find is that everyone is definitely has the some elements of what you would expect from Varger temperament. They may be vulgar as well, but the impression you get is that these are folks who are not really part of like Corsair culture. They're much closer to you and what your family was, which is your Varger who coexist alongside human culture. Lots of the Varger you're meeting and whatnot seem to work for GDCO or one of the other, corporations, or are otherwise sort of, like yourself, like ex-service to one of the various arms of the military, or perhaps even for that planetary, the Planetary Defense, that mercenary company that was active in the region, Planetside Service Security Services. So it's unusual. You're expecting much more of or at least what you were looking for and expecting was the Corsair type culture, but it's Varger who have the same type of background that you do.
Oh, that's actually more refreshing, right? So I don't feel, it fortunately goes against the unfortunate perceived stereotype. Fortunately, it does.
Yeah.
So I probably has fun and probably trade stories and
definitely
with other people and
not to stereotype, but from what I gather, Varger, like, they are very comfortable in groups and right. So I imagine like there's people who very quickly invite you to have a drink with them or coffee or whatever, or a meal. So you're able to kind of get to, that's how you sort of interact with the folks here, but you definitely get a sense of that whatever the Vargar are here, this is not like a front for a Corsair or a piracy operation. These just happen to be a bunch of Vargar who are living on the station. Yeah.
And do the work that normal citizens would do.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You find from the grunt level, janitorial kind of activities up to mucky mucks in corporations.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Dr. Ilias is out for an evening of culture. Dane, what are you doing? You accompanying Captain Ganny to the bar, or are you?
Yeah, I think so. I think Dane would. The things Dane wants, he can never have. So I think.
What does he want?
Well, he's got leadership and explosives in terms of his social skills. So I think what he wants is to forget. So he's not going to lose himself to drink or drugs because his training just doesn't let him do that. But he does want to forget, and so adult fun, anything like concerts as well. Maybe not quite as.
Sorry, I took adult fun to mean something different because there definitely is that available as well.
Yeah, he'd probably take that.
Okay.
He'd probably take that. But again, it's part of him forgetting. He'd certainly go with Ganny to the bar and enjoy some drinks. Again, he'd be reticent to say very much about who he was. He's too afraid.
Yeah.
Because he's made more enemies than friends.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think that's what he would do, to be fair.
Okay. So Captain Ganny, Dane joins you for a bit. You sort of spend an evening bullshitting with other kind of ex-military types who have got out on their own. You know who's going to be buying your first round of drinks though? Is Captain Sam.
Oh yeah.
Yep. He'll have arrived well ahead of time from you, and while it does take a little bit of haranguing of the bartender to extend his credit on his tab, they do manage to talk him into that, but he does share some drinks with you.
Plus, he's in a Navy joint as well. He won't be happy about that. Or am I going to have to head to the
I think it's sort of, there's not really a dedicated by service thing. If you're a free trader or a far trader or whatnot, that's where you'll go. There isn't an imperial presence on the station.
No. That's it. Yeah. A lot of ex-Navy about.
Yeah.
But good.
Yeah.
Have a swift drink with him then.
Yeah. Anything that you wish to try and ask about or learn about or anything like that during your time, or anything you want to achieve during that time, or?
I'll angle on if anybody's hearing anything on friction between the Empire and between the Imperium and the Aslan. Yeah, the
yeah. So the was it the Imperium? I guess what you hear is very similar to what you heard at the Argona Lowport or Downport. What is it? Is it Lowport or Downport, or is it both? Downport?
Sure.
That's the right phrase, isn't it? Anyway, or Lowport. Doesn't matter. What you here is very much what you heard at Argona, which is that it seems like a lot of ships are being redirected towards the Aslan front, or being repurposed towards that. Everything seems to be heading, what is it, driftward? No, spinward.
Spinward.
Yeah.
Tremendous, heading towards a flashpoint.
Yeah, if you bring it up, there was that, what was it? Not on Spurl, it was... Where is it here? It was on Aranseer, right? There was the attack by the Ihate on Aranseer. If you happen to bring that up, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we'd heard about that." It was you hear very much the same thing. The story has gotten around that crossing effectively two different clusters of systems. This group of renegade Aslan attacked this planet, and were only driven out by the very timely intervention of this mercenary force, that planet-side security service. Right place, right time. Bad luck for the Ihate, whose ships were said to cloud out the sky. Whether that's the reason that the impies are getting excited in the Reach and trying to augment the situation at the border is another question, but that was a pretty ballsy move by the Aslan to try and push out that far. Now they'll say that those Ihate, those second sons, that you can't control them, but sure seems like an effective way of testing the waters on what is a still closer to an Imperial planet than it is a Hyrate planet.
Mm-hmm.
That's the extent of what you...
That's
really,
it. Okay.
Yeah.
They will ask, what do you make of that, Captain? And Dane, if you're joining in for the first couple of rounds too, you certainly would be there for this kind of talk too.
Well, flashpoints and battles aren't what don't help anyone, I don't think.
I mean, nothing good comes out of Ergo, right? But I'll ask I'll ask people if they've been to Tech World and they've experienced the starport there, that minor wonder of the sector, and just start to press a little bit about given the proximity to Ergo and the pirate ships that are, or the Corsairs that are said to be based in that sort of bombed out system, what the sort of traffic news is going through Tech World, just get us some soft sort of societal intel on what's going on in Tech World, given that we're probably going to be passing through there.
What they tell you is that, of all Tech World is a bit of a priority for GDCO. GDCO, don't fuck with Tech World. GDCO has a much more impressive security presence in and around Tech World than it does. It's probably not needed because of it's an extremely advanced world as is, but a bunch of mad scientists running around, fulfilling their wildest or pursuing their wildest dreams doesn't necessarily make for a really well organized militia either. So Judico does have a more firm hand in that system. So if that's where you're planning on traveling. If you guys shared the sort of the shadow, like there's always problems in this system of pirates. Lots of places to hide. It's very difficult to specifically jump into system at the shortest route. So there's a lot of them just hunting out there and coming in. And there's not typically in other systems where there's just one star. You can jump in and you can kind of predict where ships are going to come in and how they're going to travel to their different destinations. But here, with so many moving parts and so many different fluxes in gravity and whatnot, it's a lot harder to have one single place that everyone can arrive. So as long as if you're concerned at all about what was pursuing you, they assure you that is a reasonable concern to have. But if you get yourself to Tech World, you should not have those same issues there.
Yeah. Okay, Gunny. Well, it's been real, but I'll see you in a few hours.
So Dane is heading off to pursue his interests. Anchor and Dr. Ilias, is there anything else you guys would wish to, with the people you're meeting? I imagine like during intermission and stuff, Dr. Ilias, you're probably making conversation with some of the folks who are more of the mucky mucks in Gibraltar Station. And Anchor, you've had a chance to meet some of the local Vargr. Is there anything you guys would want to ask about?
I think that Ilias will just, possibly depending on who he's talking to, bring up the escort of sorts they had in the system, just sort of check if that is standard behavior, and maybe phrase it something like, "Oh, no, we sort of was, there seemed to be like extra protection in place when we came in," and just to see if that's like a normal thing or if there's been something going on that made him heighten security. Anything we should be aware of while on Gibraltar Station.
Why don't you give us if you have diplomacy, a diplomacy check?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. You got like what, 13 points of luck left. If you want to dump a bunch of that in, what'd you roll anyway? Let's see.
3 and 3.
Oh, you only rolled 3, so you got 6 points. You could 6 points of wiggle room for that roll. The better you roll, the more lucky the person you happen to be speaking to would likely be.
No one has any objections? Sure.
Okay. So if you dump it all in there, the 6 points, then what you actually stumble across is someone who is apparently responsible, or at least his wife tells you that he is responsible for the system security on Gibraltar Station. And the way that they make... She, at least, is kind of insufferable because she's that... they are clearly part of the aristocracy, or at least what passes for the upper crust on Gibraltar Station, and they don't think anything outside of Gibraltar Station is really worth knowing about. So she throws herself into the local community. She's the worst, like the most insufferable kind of like, spouse of the affluent person in town kind of, thing. He, however, has more practical experience beyond it. So he tells you it really it is a problem. Not only that Gibraltar Station has to deal with trying to protect what is what profits it can make. That he really presents it as if they're sort of holding back the the wilds of the rest of the surrounding systems. And that they're exploiting the value of the natural resources in the area, by which they mean protecting charging people exorbitant amounts to buy fuel that they're mining from the local or the neighboring gas giant. But on all the other places, there's tons of places for pirates to hide. Lots of space on Inurin. So there are factions on Inurin that want to try and control the planet, but like they were so depopulated by the conflict that destroyed their starport, however many centuries ago that was. They just don't have enough people. Plenty of wild places you can set down and run a hidden pirate base. And we don't ask too many questions of people coming in. If they can pay, they can come in and pay, and then they can head off. You think he maybe has had too much, space champagne? But you rolled, with the luck being spent, you rolled a 5-point thing. So he's telling you beyond what he would normally be willing to tell you. So you could have pirates coming in and out of this station, and you've already had now, Dr. Ilias, at least one direct interaction with someone who's working closely with pirates on the intel side. Mm-hmm. So God knows that person who is pursuing you, they could easily reactivate their transponder and then head on down into the system and be docking here without knowing. Plenty of wedge-shaped ships that are, coming and going from here.
Okay. I think I shall. Dr. will file that away, and then as his spouse sort of starts talking again, we're like, "Oh, is that the interval bell? Oh, lovely to meet you." And then he'll just make his way back to his seat and file the information away for later use.
And I think as you're going away, because you rolled so well, she's like, "Such a pleasant young man." So you've left a terribly good impression. How about you, Anchor? Is there anything you would want to? Oh, you might be muted, Carl. I'm not sure. Let's see. Is he
He
muted?
wanted to ask, like, what hotspot? Are there any hotspots? What places to avoid?
Oh, yeah, good point. You rolled really well in your investigation from before. Oh, Downport is right. Thanks, Rick. Let's see here.
Alonzo will know the dangerous places. Ask him.
Yes. Let's see. I mean, Inurin is obviously a place that is a bit of a concern. Yeah, it's tough. So there's 21 different
So maybe
places here. So like, there's so many places to hide. I think the best they could tell you. I'm just doing a quick survey here. So one of there's a supplement referenced in the Reach Adventure, in the Adventure source book, or the Adventure book. That's actually just on the Inurin system that you can pick up from what do you call it? From Mongoose. But it doesn't quite line up with the information in the Adventure. Mm-hmm. What I'll tell you is that there's a place called Saxcore, which is named after a settlement by the Saxon Industrial Mining and Minerals Corporation. They are just very territorial, so you if you can, I would avoid them. Mm-hmm. And if you think that Gibraltar Station has, chiseling costs or extortionist costs, it's nothing compared to what Saxcore will charge you. They do say that you're right. If you ask about the vessel that was following you, they'll say you were right to be suspicious. And in some cases, they'll want to tag... what they think some do is they'll figure out what the vessel's transponder is. They'll then do inspection like on Gibraltar Station or otherwise. And if they find out you've got helpful stuff on board, then they will attack you as you're leaving.
Oh, so kind of like a partial extortion, or just setting up for some sort of. So ask him. Oh, I did want to ask him about this situation that this old guy told us about, the mercenaries being shanghaied.
Ooh, yeah, that is interesting. Why don't you give us another investigate check? And you got 7 luck you're sitting on, so I have a pretty good feeling about this.
Okay.
7 luck and less than that.
I'll use 2.
2 luck.
Yeah. Just
Okay. Yeah, just to
get
bump it up.
basic info. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they can tell you is that it seems like there's, now you mention it, like there's been a couple of, I've heard at least 2 other ships that have been boarded by people coming in. I don't know for certain, like security's a little lax as far as starports go here, but they seem to be, I hear from my cousin that they're still keeping a close eye on people coming and going on here. I don't know what that the deal is, and in fact, I'd heard. So there is a type of job, rent investigators, which is sort of the local colloquialism for private dicks. So the rent investigators, apparently, there's a couple of them, or a couple groups of them around on Gibraltar Station. And again, it's big. It's a big community here, so it's not like it's, one thing. Someone's poking around for somebody. So what that means, don't know, and they don't know who they're looking for. But yeah, it seems maybe some pirate pissed off someone too much, and the bounty's finally got enough that people are willing to travel here to try and cash in.
Oh wow!
Seems like they haven't found who they're looking for yet, but it, yeah, that's not the line of work you're in, is it?
Because no, but it could entice one or more of our crewmen a bounty. So I'll give you my information if you find out anything else.
Yeah,
or
they'll definitely know
how we contact how we can get in on this this ticket. I'll give you like a 10% finder's fee.
They sort of like all talk together, and then they're like, a deal. You rolled quite well for that investigate. So then what we will end with is quite late in the evening. Captain Gani, Captain Sam is keeping you late and well lubricated to exchange a lot of war stories with him. When you get notice that local station time at 6 tomorrow morning, you'll be meeting with your contact. Your contact is apparently a Vargur woman named Amalde Ozutiek, who works for a company called Pucha, Enziargo Zorer Freight and Brokerage, more commonly known ERB, for obvious reasons.
Anchor, I'm sure you've got all this name and everything sorted, sir.
So you're, and you guys can picture, you guys each have your comm units on you, so you could be, texting back and forth with one another.
Oh, the proper pronunciation is, but you probably just use ERB, Captain. It's fine.
Nice. So that means each of you will be having a very early morning. Captain Gani, he sends the message out from his comm unit at the bar. Dane sees it sitting on his someone's nightstand. Anchor, you get this while sitting around this like communal dinner or drinks that you're having with the other Vargur. And Dr. Elias, it is coming as you're leaving the you're in the like public transport heading back towards the TAS hostel. So with that, guys, that'll bring us to the end of the session. We're already over. Man, 3 hours flies by. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 7 of our Borderland Run adventure. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There is also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server where all of us are active, and we have a channel there dedicated to this campaign now, and as well as most other games we run on the channel. There are, in addition to the channel-based games, there's a ton of other great channels as well, where there's a terrific community that's over there with a who are very helpful and friendly and knowledgeable. So you are more than welcome to join us over there. There is also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a terrific selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. And if they don't have something in stock that you are looking for, you can often put it on a want list, and then they will send you an email when it comes in stock, and you'll be able to go and pick it up if you choose. Although I would not snooze on those longer than necessary. I had my I've been waiting on two different books that I'm missing from my Lex Arcana collection, which I've started with them. I got an email, went over to him, put it in my inbox or my box, and then was like, I wonder if they're going to get the other one in a couple of minutes. And in the time it took to go and check that and go back, someone else had beat me to the punch, and that was gone. So I will that still remains on my want list, and I'll come back. And I will say the price for that was actually less than cover price. So that is often the case with a lot of the stuff. Some other things that are in higher demand will command a higher price, but regardless of what the price is, if you purchase $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code SPRINGMUSER at checkout, all caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. If you are listening to this at a later date after July 1st, 2023, be sure to check one of our more recent videos and you'll find the current discount code there. There's also a link down below to the I'm back at the start, guys, I'm sorry. The link to the Heroes Save Villages campaign, which is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really terrific organization active in over 130 countries, providing benefits for over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including, at the time of recording, ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding countries. All donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. As a small way of saying thank you, if you donate $10 or more since January 1st, 2023, you will have a chance to vote on our next charity session. Voting right now, today ends for our third part in our year-long charity campaign. It looks like we're going to be playing a game of Savage Worlds set during the Boxer Rebellion, with our heroes playing a bunch of members of the Big Swords Society, the Boxers who, one of the societies who made up the rebellion itself. And the next thing that we'll be voting on, that will be voted on, were the connections to the first two sessions we've played in that charity campaign. The first one was set during the Golden Age of Piracy. The second one was in the first century of the Roman Empire. And we'll be voting on what connections from those first two sessions will carry forward to this one. We will, in addition to that, if you donate $25 or more, not only do you get a chance to vote on the charity campaign, you also get a chance to vote to win, for every $25 that you donate, one chance or more to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. Prizes will include an opportunity to play with us, an opportunity to win some copies of the D-Genesis slipcase edition for the Rebirth slipcase edition for that amazing post-apocalyptic RPG. There's also a beautiful chainmail dice bag made by our resident armorsmith, Dave. He has very generously crafted and donated yet another one of those for our prizes. So tons of great prizes, an opportunity to vote on what we are running in the charity campaign, and most importantly, an opportunity to help out some kids who could really use some help. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart travelers. So James, Graham, Carl, David, and Jeffrey, who had to leave a little early today. Thank you so much for playing today, guys. Yet another enormously fun campaign. I love occupying this world with you guys and seeing you guys play your characters. It's a huge amount of fun for this. So thank you very much. We will be back in the Trojan Reach in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our brave travelers are uncovering as they endeavor to just make a buck or a credit. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.
Bye.